Hello there and welcome. It's Psychic Cynthia here, Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian. And welcome, fellow spiritual psychics, psychic readers, and seekers of the spiritual psychic path. Today I'm logging on to discuss an aspect of the spiritual psychic realm, and especially for those of you who are on the path of awakening your own spiritual psychic abilities. In other words, you're learning how to read. Okay, you're learning how to tune in to get messages, not only for yourself, but for others. Today I want to specifically talk with those of you who are doing this in any way for others. And it could just be for your friends and your family, okay? And a lot of times when I do spiritual psychic related videos, I will make the video speaking to readers and also to people who are just learning to use their psychic senses for themselves. But today this relates especially to those of you who will be utilizing your psychic abilities or your reading ability. Say if you're a rune reader or a tarot reader or even an astrologer, but especially those of you who are very psychically sensitive, who are mediums, who are very psychic and helping others through your readings. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot of people, just anybody at all. So what I wanted to talk about today, and it's been occurring to me, it's been on my mind, and by the way, I haven't been able to make a lot of videos about this, the psychic realm, like the how-to for you, because, well, frankly, I've been busy being a psychic, and I have a lot of clients I do readings for, and I like to do the astro forecast too, so anyway, I just have limited time, just like everybody else, but it's been on my heart a lot lately, so I wanted to share this with you. And as you're developing, your psychic gifts, because I'm figuring that if you're watching this video, you're still working on developing, and especially developing your ability to be a better reader. There's many things you can do to develop yourself as a psychic, and of course that does include actually developing your ability to see visions, to hear the spirits, to connect to the spirit realm, to connect to the soul of your client or the person you're reading for, your sitter. So those are all things you can work on, and of course there's many different programs you can do for that and exercises. But I want to talk to you about what I think you're going to need to do, the real thing you need to develop if you want to be a badass reader, okay? If you want to be an excellent reader, if you want to be very good at it, and if you want to have longevity as a reader. In other words, if you don't want to burn out, because have you noticed that there are many people that kind of get into this and, even on just a small local level, and they start doing some readings and they do it for a little while, but then after usually about 3 years, if they make it that long, but 3 years is a magical point, then all of a sudden they're not doing it anymore. And you don't know where they are, and why aren't they doing readings anymore? Well, because it's tough, okay? It's a tough work. And so what I would encourage you to do, while you're working on developing all those other skills, and I know it's a lot, there's a lot of psychic skills you can develop, and you might want to work with the divination tool and learn about that too. So that takes some study and some practice. But I want you to think about making yourself stronger. I want you to think and know that it's so important as a psychic for you to be strong on many levels. And the reason is, if you're going to do readings for others, and the more you're going to do readings for others, you have to be quite strong inside. In fact, you have to have such strength that you have a high capacity to carry pain. Hear me out here. This is going to sound strange if you're not familiar with it. Now, if you are an experienced reader, you already probably know what I'm talking about because you know this through experience. When you read for others, you have to sit with them and be with them, and you have to be with their pain. Most people who come to psychic readers, especially as you advance, as you become more skilled in your craft and then you're moving into the upper levels of experience, people are looking for your clients They're looking for solutions to their problems. And sometimes they're just looking for somebody to sit with them and help them ease their pain. It's only really at what I would call the lower levels, and lower meaning not lesser value, but lower meaning, simpler, entertainment level readings. Okay, it's only at the entertainment level readings where you're just having fun. And that's fine, if you just want to play with this. And a lot of people do, they get involved in this field. They just want to have fun with it. They just want to play with it. And, that's their comfort level. They're not really in it to do a deep level of service, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If that's where you're at, if you're like, hey, I just want to have some fun with it. I just like telling people about their past lives and, maybe doing some really light surface readings. That is totally cool if that's where you're at. And I encourage anyone who wants to, who is of a pure heart at least, if you're of a pure heart and you want to get involved in the psychic realm, and if you have a loving center, I want you to be part of it, even if it's just on a superficial level, okay? But that is different than actually being a reader, in my opinion, and committing to that path. And when I say being a reader, understand, I don't even mean doing it professionally necessarily. Yes, I would include professional readers, but just being more serious at it. I have many former students who do not do this for their living, but they do reading seriously. They earn a little money at it, perhaps, but they're very serious. They have other jobs that they do for their money, but they're still very serious. So they are developing their capacity to hold pain, okay? And you don't want to hold on to it, though. So when you sit with your clients, you are going to be dealing with some of the most difficult things that they are dealing with, and you're going to be doing it with them. And even if you don't consider yourself an empath, and listen, you don't have to be like a really, crazy, in-depth empath. Not that empaths are crazy, they're wonderful. What I'm saying is, like, even if you don't feel like you're an empath, maybe you don't feel like you soak up emotions. This is not about empathy, although I hope you have empathy, because it does take some level of empathy to be a really excellent psychic reader, to do the art of reading. We have to have some empathy. If you don't have that, if you can't connect with another person's heart, meet them where they're at, then I don't know how you're going to connect with your clients and help them. So, but I'm thinking that most of you watching this have some empathy, so we're not going to worry about that, okay? It may be that you have so much empathy that it's hard for you to be in the face of another person's pain. And if that's true, it's going to be very hard for you to be a psychic reader. So you have to toughen yourself up. You have to strengthen your ability to withstand being in the face of somebody else's pain. You have to be able to hear things that are very difficult, to hear how the people you're reading for have suffered, because they will open up to you. And even if they don't, you will see it, you will feel it. And you have to be able to carry that. And when I say carry it, I don't mean carry it forever, but you have to be able to carry it during the reading, okay? You have to be able to stand in the face of it. And how do you develop this? Okay, how do you develop the skill? I mean, I think for me, it was something that I was naturally better at. Well, I say naturally. It was easier for me to have this skill at a very young age because I had a difficult childhood. There were many struggles. I grew up in a very, I guess you'd call it poor or impoverished household, single-parent household. And, well, not that all single-parent households are poor. They're actually not, but ours was. And there was, abuse. There was, actually our neighborhood was not the safest, okay? So growing up where you have to learn how to take care of yourself and struggling with different things. I mean, when you grow up working poor like I did, and shout out to the people who are the working poor, who work hard. My heart will always be with you. I know what that's like. I know, that experience, and it helped me, is what I'm saying. Actually, you can look at it, and a lot of times we look at it and we say, those are terrible experiences, but no, it helped me to be stronger, because when you endure certain kinds of pains early on, you have the capacity to hear other people's pain. It doesn't surprise you. So I will tell you this, the more sheltered of a life you have lived, the more difficult for you it is going to be to do these readings for people. Because, you might be able to get the information, but it might shock you so much you might not be able to take it. So, again, developing your capacity to sit with the person, toughening yourself up, and to hear their story, without wimping out on it, okay? Without wimping out on it. And if you had some challenges either in childhood or later on, if you've had challenges in your life that were really traumatic, if you've been broken down and put back together again, so to speak, if you've suffered loss, death, great grief, these all could potentially at least help you to be a better medium, a better psychic, a better reader, okay, of any kind. That being said, just having had those experiences is not enough, because when you're constantly going into readings for others and you're hearing these difficult situations, then yes, it can wear down even the strongest person. So what do you do then? Well, you work on making yourself stronger. And the easiest way I have found is by keeping my physical body stronger. Okay? So, that's why I work out. At least when I can. I had a knee injury last year and I'm still healing from that. But I'm back in fitness classes again. And actually, I never stopped doing some form of physicality, some form of yoga every day. For a period of several months, I could not go out and walk by myself because my knee would keep going in and out. So I had to have somebody with me or just exercise inside. But I did what I could. I did what I could to keep, strengthening my body so that my spirit would be strong, basically. And can you have a strong spirit without a strong body? I think so, actually. I have known some people that, especially in their older years, their spirit was very strong, but their bodies were failing. So it's not all about, you have to have a strong body. What I'm saying is that strengthening your body, having physical strength in some kind, I'm not talking about, obviously I'm not like competing for a muscle marathon or something. I'm not even competing for a marathon, so it's not like that. But having good core strength physically will help you to have good core strength psychically, okay? And then if you can be stronger in the face of other people's pain and help them carry that while you're in the reading, then you'll be a better psychic. You'll be a much better psychic. You'll be more in demand. You'll be more desired as a psychic, because at the end of the day, we all want somebody who can sit with us and share our joys, yes, but also share our pain. And that's what many of your clients are going to be looking for, okay? Now, do hear me and do understand that when I say, you're going to have to carry the pain, you carry it in the reading, you put it down at the end of the reading. And that's why we have to be strong, because it takes a very strong person to be able to put it down. It takes more strength to put down pain that you've encountered and to let it go. It takes more strength to do that than it does to pick it up. It's the opposite of the physical. So you want to keep yourself strong on all levels. I mean, keep yourself strong mentally. And you can do that by studying different kinds of things or playing an instrument, or, I don't know, some people might do it through Sudoku or doing crosswords, things like that. Learning a language can be good, learning a second or third or fourth, depending on how many you speak. Having stimulating mental hobbies that are different than the psychic realm, so they'll complement it, okay? Writing, doing your own creative work, doing creative hobbies, maybe making videos, okay? Whatever it is for you, but find ways to strengthen yourself mentally. And then, of course, I didn't mention this yet. I just realized I should, because I'm taking it for granted that you know this. I should not do that. Don't ever take things for granted when you're trying to help your tribe. Of course, positive affirmations, keeping our mental framework positive is very important, or at least neutral. And it takes a very strong person, I want to say this again, to stay positive. If you've done some of the readings that I've done, and I'm not going to say here because of client confidentiality. I could say some without their names, but I'll let you use your imagination. some of the things that I've heard in readings, I mean, that people have been through. People are suffering. So it's amazing that I'm able to say as positive as I can. I mean, it's a true testament to the power of the spiritual path, and that if we do our affirmations, I mean, and for me also, movement is an affirmation, dancing or rhythm and music. Like, I really am uplifted through music. That may be because I'm a natural clairaudient. I don't know. I think that's part of it. But I also think music can lift our vibrations. So think about that. I mean, in a way, you might say that's a form of cleansing after you've been carrying the pain, but it also just helps me to put it down, helps me to be strong enough to put it down. So anyway, I wanted to log on to share this with you, share some deep level thoughts about being a psychic reader, and maybe what you can do to up your game, to up your skill, to be the best psychic that you can be, to really show up for your clients when they need you. And they'll need you to be strong for them sometimes, and with them. Alrighty. Until next time, I'm Psychic Cynthia, wishing you all many bright and beautiful blessings on your spiritual psychic